Hey guys, it's Mar, and it's the Need to Know. I know the intro is a little different. Obviously, Reed's not here. She's actually running late from work, so I'm actually doing the intro. But it's perfect because this episode, we're kind of like sort of back to normal. I know last episode, or actually 2 episodes ago was like politics, and then last episode was like a little deep and a little emotional in the morning. But this episode we have guests that's coming on the show, and you guys already know how we've been doing the panels. So pretty much this time around, I won't be on the episode. It'll actually be re-hosting the episode. Today we are talking about living life on life's terms. Now, of course, you guys probably know this slogan. Reed talked about it in the last episode with her uncle. So, this episode won't be as emotional as morning, but you'll hear a lot of stuff that, might be inspirational for some. It might be touching for others. So again, I know the intro is a little awkward without Ree on it, but trust me, she'll be here. She'll be on the episode in the outro. So without further ado, Ree, take it away.
Hi guys, I'm Ree. Welcome to the Need to Know. So guys, as you know, I'm hosting the show by myself this show. We are talking living life on life's terms, and we have 2 wonderful guests for our panel. So let them introduce themselves.
Hi.
I'm Asia. So you guys might recognize Pat. He was in like the first season that we ever had, and that was the show that my bed broke episode ever. That was the show that my bed broke, and that was the funniest shit ever. And we was talking guys versus girls, so I think this is a little different. And we're a lot older now, and we're gonna talk spice as always. It's a very simple topic, but we're gonna get into it basically. So this is a quote that actually I live by, just so you guys know. Living life on life's terms is basically you take life as it is. And a lot of people don't do that. They just, I live life how life gives it to me. So these are 2 people that actually do the same thing. So why not talk about it? How do you guys feel about living life on life's terms? How do you do that? How would you tell others to do the same thing?
Don't overthink it. I feel like that's a biased thing for me because I overthink everything, but I like to try to live in the moment. Like, if I'm really gonna do it, I'm gonna just get up and go do it. Like, I don't wanna overthink it. I wanna just get up, get it done in that second. Because I probably overthought it about 2 million times prior to doing it. So, just get up and get it done.
To add on to that, don't stress yourself out. I think when certain things happen, you tend to start rumbling and going crazy, and you just gotta let it flow, and everything will fall in place.
What are some things that you would probably think that other people would judge you about, but you wouldn't judge them about?
I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm being judged for every move I make. But to some degree, we all are being judged for every move. It depends on how much you care about being judged. I don't judge nobody. So I like to think.
I don't judge at all. I mean, so we all like to think. But if you're gonna judge, I feel like we should just be in your head. I feel like we all judge people in our head, but as long as that's not your place to say something to them about what they're doing about life or whatever it is, everything should be good. People is always gonna judge you. I don't care if I'm judged, honestly, but that's how you gotta look at it. What about you?
Right. In terms of what, being judged?
Yeah,
I feel like everybody judges me. That's just, I'm very, because again, the way that I am.
Open?
Yeah, I'm super open about things. So, I'm at the point in my life where nothing really faces me in terms of, okay, well, if you think this about me, I would rather you tell me up front than hide it. And a lot of people, they hide things or they sugarcoat it. It's not necessary to sugarcoat things at this point in our lives. We're old enough to be like, okay, well, this is what it is. This is how I feel. Because if you start to sugarcoat it and say things like, oh, well, it doesn't really bother me, but then you act different, you're kind of defeating the purpose of saying that.
But who are they to tell you?
Right. Again, who are they?
Like,
who are they to judge me? I don't judge anybody, and I could tell you like for a fact that I don't, because it's just like at this point I've realized that if you judge somebody and I know that I'm judging somebody, then it's time for me to remove myself from that situation. And I feel like if I can remove myself from the situation on first, then okay, cool. But then it's like I know when somebody's judging me, because it's like it's very blunt, you know. It's like it's not that it hurts you, but it's the fact that, you know, they said it and they're saying, oh well, why shouldn't I think that? Why didn't you tell me that you felt this way from the jump? Why are we waiting so long to, you know, pursue this conversation? So, you know, I feel like, and then it's like a lot of things, like even with my family, you know, sometimes they judge you, like not particularly me, but like anybody, and it's just like usually like, wow, like that's how you feel.
I didn't know you felt that way.
Right. So it's like if I were to do this to you or to say something, then it's like, you know, but then it's like I've had conversations and it's like there was no judgment. It was just like a conversation. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I understand what you're trying to say. And I feel like, you know, once people get used to something, the judgment starts to go away. But I feel like if they're not comfortable enough, that's when you're like, okay, maybe you should just take a step back. How do you feel about that?
I agree. I definitely agree. But I just know everybody don't think like that.
They don't.
Like everybody was raised to judge in some sort of way. We all were raised to judge. You gotta be mature enough to learn not to judge, and that's the hard part.
It's hard.
But I definitely agree with what you said. I just know when you said families teach you to judge.
Because you grow up, you know, and like everybody has their own mindsets. Like your family teaches you to think this way, think that way. And one thing that, you know, I think that's different about me in terms of how I grew up was that didn't really play too much of a role in my childhood. So it's like when somebody comes to me and be like, oh well, you know, they didn't feel some type of way about something, I'll be like, well, why should you? You know, why does it bother you so much, or why should it faze you? I understand that sometimes it might not fit in your lifestyle, but you should accept something because this is the person that you decided to pursue in some type of way. So that's where like my openness comes in, where it's like, okay, well, I'm not really afraid to let you in, because why should I? I have no reason to not let you in. I have no reason not to like you. I have no reason, like, you know, to not accept you for who you are.
I think part two to that is not being, I don't want to say emotional because that's a touchy word for everybody, but that's the word I'm going to use today. Emotional when you're being judged, because you can't stop somebody from judging you, but you can stop yourself from reacting.
I'm looking for the word that you're trying to say. Then
I think you edited it up.
I get what you're saying, like, but that's like, again, you gotta tell yourself that everybody thinks different, and it's okay for them to think different in order for you not to get to that emotional place, because it'll hurt. Like some stuff coming from certain people will hurt, especially if it's unexpectedly. Like it'll hurt in some sort of way. Like
yeah, but when you give them that reaction that they want, then it's like they got you.
Listen,
you're not supposed to let them get you.
They can get you.
I'm hurt, okay? And that's it.
But then that comes into play where, how do you feel about yourself? Mm-hmm. That has been a recent situation that I've been through. So it's like, how do you feel with yourself before you be like, okay, well, does that really hurt? Or is it the way that they approach the situation? People, you know, they're not fazed by how they approach a situation because that's how they feel. And it's like something else catches up to them. But it's like they're not aware that, okay, you feel some type of way, but why is it that they're not aware? Because they think that way, and they're okay that they think that way. They're not catering to your emotions. They're only catering to theirs. Because they're uncomfortable in some situation, but why are they uncomfortable? But your comfortability with yourself is, so if you could be like, okay, well, you said something, if I said something hurtful to you guys, right? I don't feel that I said something hurtful. I don't understand why you felt hurt by what I said. Don't you think that that's gonna hurt your feelings? But it's not because you're comfortable with yourself. But you have to tell me that, well, if I wasn't comfortable with myself, don't you think that I would have took that the wrong way? It's how you approach the situation. You can't just flat out tell somebody like, okay, well, I don't like that you dress like this. Why don't you like that? Why don't I like that? You're comfortable. So why shouldn't I be comfortable that you dress like that?
I feel like when you put a situation like that, it comes down to how that person looks at you. Well, as far as the dressing, that's how I view that. It also comes down to how they look at you, how they view you, how they see you. Like, you could be comfortable and happy doing whatever, but you being like that and the
Right.
things that you do, they like are just so unpleased with it. They like look down at you and everything. They could be your friend, your cousin, your brother, and look down at
Yeah.
you while you're doing the things you're doing, and they just have this bad perception of you that's not changing. So I think it comes back to that too, when you put it like that.
And the fact that you took that is like, and that was a simplified version. That was like super like a kiddish like example.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that you took that from that, it was like now you understand. Okay, well it's more to life than simplicity, and it is. But simplicity is key, and people don't realize that, you know, it's okay to be comfortable how you are, but people in this generation are not comfortable with who they are sometimes. And it's like the fact that they don't realize that they should be is the problem. It's okay to be, you know, in tune with, you know, that maybe you don't like people as much as you think. Maybe you're an introvert, maybe you're extrovert, maybe, you know, you want to party, maybe you want to party by yourself. Maybe you just like to drink, maybe you like to smoke, maybe you like to, you know, just be in your bed all day. But it's like you also have to cater to other people when you want to be around them. You can't just be a loner and lonely and sad all the time. You gotta be like, okay, well, I want to do this, I want to do that too.
I definitely understand that part.
Who is your biggest, who motivates you? Just let's simple. Who motivates you? Who motivates you to be the best version of yourself? Yo, I'm telling you, I don't know why I don't write stuff down. I had this thing that I was gonna say and I definitely forgot it, but it was somebody could bring out the best version of yourself, but only you could bring out the true version. But how do you bring out the true version if somebody doesn't bring out the best version?
Why you do that to my mom like that? Like she's got my brain. Hold on, say it again. How?
So everybody has
okay. Go ahead.
everybody has a true version of themselves. We know who it is. But in order to get that out, somebody has to bring out the best version of ourselves. But who is that to bring out the best version if we don't know who our true version is?
But every day we have a different version of ourselves, don't we?
No.
Yes,
not
we
me.
do. I feel like, let me tell you why I say that. I feel like because I could learn something new today or learn a new way of thinking that changes me completely from how I was the day before. So every day you altering yourself in some way or form, you know what I'm saying? So your true version can be completely different today than what it was yesterday.
The change that you go through always shape you to be the person that you should be at the end, or that you're trying to get to, or you're trying to be, or who you're trying to become. So that's a question. That's another question that I had was, are you the person that, are you on the journey or the path that you're trying to take to become the true version, like the person that you're trying to become? Are your goals getting you there? Is the path that you're trying to take, is the obstacles a little bit too much that you think that you can't handle it, or are they getting you to where you want to be as an individual? Are the people in your life helping you to be that person? Are they bringing you down? Are they holding you back? Are they lifting you up? Like,
I definitely feel like I'm on the road to where I'm supposed to be going. Like a year and a half ago, 2 years, I visioned like what I want myself to be like, and I feel like slowly but surely I've been taking those necessary steps to become who I see myself as. At least by 25, I could be a whole different person again at 50. I don't know, but by 25, I'm definitely taking those steps to become that person. And the people in my circle, they helping a little bit, but I feel like most of the work is up to me. Like, I gotta have those right people in my circle to even help me get to where I'm going. So that hard work is up to me to have the right people in my circle. And you're gonna know when you have the right people in your circle, because I done cut a lot of people off this year with no explanation. So I definitely feel like I'm on that road, although it took a lot of not even thinking, just procrastinating. You know when you see yourself somewhere and you know you can get there, but you're just taking your time to get there, but you're tired of being where you at. It took a lot of self-beatings. Like, listen, get it together, because you know you can do it. Like, stop procrastinating.
That's what it takes. That's from you. That's
Yeah.
you molding yourself, and you knowing you have to get somewhere. You have a vision and you want to get there. Things are gonna come along the way. You feel me? That's gonna, you might feel different about something, but you should always keep that same path.
right. The end goal should be the same, but the journey that you take is always going to change.
Exactly.
That's something that I think, people don't understand either. You have people now that's trying to, jump, and you're like, damn, like, can you hold on a second, like, relax. Like, you're gonna get to that. Just let it go. Like, like with me, like, who said I wanted to make my book now? Like, no one said that. That was never my path to create my book now. Like, for me to create my book, I was like, I'm gonna graduate first. I'm gonna do whatever I wanted to do. But I was like, let me put something out. Let me make. I didn't even say I was gonna make my website. Like, I started my website. I started doing other stuff. I started like getting myself out there, and it's like, I was scared to put my work out. Not that, I didn't think people was gonna like it. It's just like, damn, like I write a different type of, like, I talk about different things. And it's like, sometimes the world is not really ready for the things that you want to talk about sometimes, or you want to approach, or you want to say. So it's like, damn, now you got to take a step back. You got to think, you got to reevaluate, you got to research, you got to be like, okay, let me take this jump before I be like, okay, let me dip in the pool a little bit. You got to dip. Then you could jump. Maybe you could fall.
You got to jump off the cliff.
I disagree with the world not being ready. I feel like when you put something out there, there's always gonna be one person over here, one person over there that's gonna, catch it, and those two people who's gonna spread it. They're gonna get something out of it. They're gonna spread it. It's not for the world to be ready for. It's just you can be that person that's like, oh, I didn't like. That's gonna somebody's gonna see it and be like, oh, I didn't think about something like that, or you know what I'm saying? So.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely think that, especially with some of the things that I read, like, I'm taking an African American literature class, and I'm reading a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, like, this is really what's going on, and it's just like, wow, I had threw some shit out there last week about, whiteness being the cash value, and everybody was taken aback by it, because I was just like, yeah, this is things that people write about, and it's like, I never thought of it that way, that people could, evaluate life so, like, okay, well, everybody's doing the same thing, and they're actually putting a label on it, but what is this label? This label is actually like somebody being superior to the other, and we're just putting a label on it because guess what? That's really the reality of life. Like, money really, rules the world, which we all know, but it's just like, it's actually a thing that's been happening over time where things are property, things are owned, things are this, things are that, and why should something be owned? Why can't something be mine? Why can't we share something? Why can't we, explore things together? Why does it have to be mine or yours? And I think that's another thing that, nobody wants to share. And I feel like, that's also a problem in life, people don't want to be like, okay, well, we can share the spotlight. What do you feel?
I just have a question. Do you feel like, have you traveled outside the country? Me neither. And I have friends who have traveled outside the country and been in other areas of the world. I'm not saying that's just an American thing, but from the feedback I get from them, I feel like that's a big type of American thing compared to other locations.
Yeah, America is super Western. You know what I'm trying to say. But it's super like this. Everything that happens in America is literally for America. Like, nothing else, If you go, like, somebody told me, like, because I want to go to Barcelona, they was like, oh, you would really like it, the culture there is super amazing, like, you would have a good time. Even when I've been to Puerto Rico, and it's just like, it's not the same experience as being here in America, like.
They're trying to trap us. That's all.
I feel like America is just selfish. Like, what we've learned was to be selfish compared to the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something that I didn't get to share on the show, but I was like, other races, they literally share within their community. Black people were taught not to do that.
Don't get me on the topic of
Black people were taught not to do that. And it's sad that, we're literally staying in this, like, bubble, and people are, like, oh yeah, we're gonna support Black businesses, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I was like, how long do you really think that's gonna last? Like, that we're actually doing it, because people are doing it right now, don't get me wrong, people are doing these things. It's a movement, but why does it have to be a movement? Why can't that really be your life? Like, why can't it be like, we keep our money within the Black community, and it stays there, like.
Because we were taught to be jealous.
Jealousy was, yes.
We was raised into, like, video and things, like, don't worry about nobody else, like, look for yourself, look out for yourself. Especially, like, since, Black people have always been, like, a minority, we've always been looked at, like, second class, and so, like, our past generations have, like, always had that mindset, like,
Well, why is that? Like, why is that, like, the simplicity of life? Why did we take it and we held on to it? Like, it's not even, like, lingering away, like, it's attached to our bodies, like, to our minds, to our, it's like, and people think that, you always have to buy something to support, like, no, it doesn't, listen, communication is the best way to spread something. Like, you can be like, oh, you know, this is what's going on. Watch it, listen to it, you know, talk about it, share it. Be like, oh, well, you know, maybe I can't get this right now, but maybe you can, because maybe, you know, you got it like that. Everybody has their own part in something, and it's like, even the smallest thing is a part, you know. Somebody has something that they, you know, I see and I share. I'm like, I share it, you know. If I can buy it at the time, I buy it. You know, if I know somebody that can buy it, I'll be like, oh, you know, I think you might like this, da 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 da. It's not simple, you know. I feel like people don't, even if you watch somebody's show, like, I listen to people's podcasts all the time. I'd be like, this should be fire. Like, that has to be nice. I'd be sharing it. I'd be like, yo, like, listen to this is nice. I was telling Shamar the other day, I was like, yo, I think you like this podcast, da da da. Like, somebody that we had on the show was on it, and I was like, that was the longest episode, but it was fire. Like, it was the best episode I ever heard. Like, and I was like it talks about things that we go through every day. Like, it's called Views of an Ex, and literally, shout out to y'all. But, cause now we're gonna have the show, that's why I'm excited. But, their shows are super amazing, and you literally, it's a show, like, they let you talk, literally. They ask you a little bit of questions, but you're talking the whole episode, literally. But it's like, you're listening to it like, wow, like, that's really my life. Like, I have been through that, and you're just like, wow, like, I didn't know people go through the same shit that I go through with my ex, and you're just like, damn, you was hurt like that? I would never have expected that.
I'm doing that show.
Nah, listen to it. Nah, it's a really nice show. Like, I definitely listened to a couple episodes, and I'm like, it's amazing. Like, I was just like, wow, this is really nice. Like, and mind you, that episode was 2 episodes that I, with my friend, like, who I had, like, I was just like, yo. But it was really a good listen, and I listened to both parts. He was the only person that had 2 parts, and I listened to the other girl. This other girl was before him, I think, and then there was another guy. And I was like, wow, like, this is what y'all go through. Like, this is really like, and mind you, they're older, so it's like, you're older going through something like this, and I'm younger than you, and I've been through that, and it's just like, we can relate on a level that it's just like, wow. And that's what people don't realize, you know, that when you live life, you can go through anything at any time of your life. You could be fucking 13 going through something. You could be 16, you could be 18, you could be 21, you could be 35, you could be 65. And I be telling people, you could be 65 and be in your peak of your career, your peak. You could be 13 and be in your peak. You could be 10 and be in your peak if it came down to it. Like, it's people that have businesses. Yo. So that's what I'm saying, like, we hate on each other, and it's like, why? Like, we should be trying to make everybody feel
uplifted.
Like, we should be uplifting.
Wow.
Wow. And it's like, why do we hold such high expectations? I think that's another thing that we should talk about, you know, having expectations. Like, do you have expectations? Do you go to people? One thing that I think people are weird about when I say this, I'm like, I don't have expectations. Like, I'm sorry, I don't.
That part.
I don't have expectations. Like, I can't come to you and I don't know you. Like, I have to get to know you. Just like I don't have trust issues. I've on the show for plenty of times. I'm like, I don't have those problems because what somebody did to me does not have to do with you at all. I'm sorry. Like, I can't go through something and think that you're gonna do the same thing. Just like you can't come to me and expect the same things to happen. Like, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, only you can show me how you are.
Some people is in the back of their head, so they like, I went through this.
Yeah.
Just like how you can go and relate to somebody about something else. It's in the back of your head, like, I went through this. Like, can it happen again?
Anything can happen again, bro. Anything can happen.
But I also feel like you said, anything can happen again, but you play a part in it happening again.
Yeah.
Because you think it's gonna happen again. You putting that energy out there. You creating that energy in a way by acting a certain type of way because you've been through something, you know? You want to avoid this, and instead of just being your whole self, like, that's something I don't have trust issues. Expectations, yes, maybe. But trust issues, no, because you're not the same person. Like, I can't hold you accountable for what somebody else did to me. Or for what I did to myself either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do trust issues. That's just not my thing. Expectations, yeah, maybe. I don't know. You know.
I say not to have expectations because usually when you have expectations, it's because you're holding a grudge against something. You're holding on to something for so long that you never forgave or you didn't forgive. And forgiveness is a big part of your own personal growth. And people don't know that, and people don't learn that, and people don't realize that forgiveness is not for the next person, it's always for you. It's never to be like, okay, well, I forgive you because da 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 da, but why do I forgive you? Like, I shouldn't have to tell you that I forgive you. You should just know that I forgave you because how we're moving with each other, how over time we're gradually getting back to this, comfortability that we had in the beginning. Sometimes it's not gonna work, and that's perfectly, it's okay to fall out with somebody. You're not supposed to stay with everybody forever. People are temporary, some people are permanent. And I feel like that's what, we're trying to hold on to permanent. And it's just like, not everybody is permanent though. Not everybody is permanent. I feel like the best permanent people that you have are friends, because you're gonna have friends that are temporary, but you know when they're temporary. Because a temporary friend is, I'm gonna have probably like a school friend. Even though I have school friends that I'm still friends with and I'm very close with still. And then it's like, then you have the same thing with work friends. Me and Pat met at work and look at us.
Like 7 years ago.
For real, and it's just like, look at us. And it's just like, me and Shamar, we met through Gabby. We're still friends. And we met in high school. Like, me and my two friends, me and Gabby and Sonny, we've known each other since elementary school. We're in our 20s,
on.
we're in our 20s
She's doing
now.
good on friends right now.
Good over
she's
there.
doing good.
We've been friends for a very long time. But it's those are two of my, I know people that I've known since the same amount of time, but we're not probably as close. Yeah, we're not as close. The person that I would have thought that we was on the same type of timing, we're not, we're cool, but we're not friends. I probably wouldn't share things with her that I would share with Tony and Gabby. It's just somebody that I know, but it's there's things about her or that she does or that I do that I could be like, okay, well, we can connect and do this together. But it wouldn't be let's hang out, let's do this, that. I don't, she's not my vibe. That's I've hung out with her and it's that's just not my vibe. That's not my type of friend.
That's okay.
And it's okay, yes.
That's life at the end of the day.
You feel me?
People come, people go.
And you have to realize that though, you have to be okay, after that gap that you have with each other, it's just okay, now we hung out and it's okay, should I hang out with you? Do I want to hang out with you? And then over time, that same friend that you probably had long ago, you're just wow, why would we be friends? You're such trash. You're trash.
Say that a little bit louder.
I said, wouldn't that be judging someone if you think of them as trash?
You're okay. I take
Got
that.
you.
But I don't think that, I say that people are trash because it's just I'm the type of person that if I wouldn't do something to you, why do you do that to me? That's trash to me. Why if I held you down all this amount of time and I've never, lied to you, I've never, treated you bad, I've always been there for you, I've always held you down, why when now it's your turn to, feel whatever you feel, even though I'm still trying to hold you down, you treat me like shit? That's trash.
But everybody's not you.
Everybody's not gonna think.
That's why
we cannot expect.
That's what I'm at in life. You feel me? Everybody's not me. They're not gonna think how I'm thinking. They're not gonna hold it down like how I think they should hold it down. So.
Now that trash is the expectation that I actually with me. I think that people should be like me, but I know that they're not. That's something that I've learned about myself, and I'm just wow, why do I think that way? But it's because it's I feel that people should at least try to understand. They don't always have to accept, but they should try to understand, or they should try to be open-minded to the fact that people are not the same. Just like I should accept that people are different. I do, but I feel when we have a difference, it's just you still have to understand me, you still have to listen to me. But it's if you're not doing that to me, I'm not gonna do that to you. That's just how I feel.
That's fair.
It's fair.
On some degree, it is fair, but like we've been saying, everybody's not the same. Everybody's not even gonna think how we're thinking. You get what I'm saying?
At all, not at all.
Exactly, but
they don't feel like it's necessary that they should listen to your point, or they should even try to understand this. They don't want to change their mindset. They don't want to hear you out. Because I had to learn that the hard way, so.
I learned that the hard way.
But it's okay to keep the same mindset, but not listening to something. Yeah, you gotta listen.
And that's the problem.
People don't listen though.
No, but that's the thing. Go ahead.
No, you better.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I try to explain. It's okay to not accept something, but you still should listen, because if you want me to listen to you, you should listen to me. Like that's the simplest thing you could ever ask from somebody, to just listen to you. Just like, you know, if I'm giving you my open ear and I'm the same thing, like, you want to listen to what I have to say and I want to listen to what you have to say. But if I don't listen to you and I'm just like, okay, well, this is what you said, but it's just like, I'm not taking into consideration, like, that's really how you felt, or you're really upset about something, or you're mad, or you're angry, or you're happy about something. I don't acknowledge that. That's the problem. Like, we're not acknowledging. If you're listening, you're acknowledging it. You're gonna say, well, okay, well, I understand that you feel this way. Why do you feel that way? You know, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it more? Do you want to this? Do you want to that? Like, and that's where communication plays a role. People don't know how to communicate with each other. People don't know how to communicate with each other at all. Like, it's just like in the trash.
I feel like respect is a big part of communication, because you won't argue or yell or you know, call somebody names if you respect them. You have to have a certain level of respect to even hold conversations nowadays, and people don't have respect for others. And I feel like that's where the lack in communication comes from.
But I feel like you can't get there unless you listen to somebody. You have to listen to somebody to.
That's true.
Okay.
But you still have to, even for yourself, you have to have a certain type of respect to go outside and even want to listen to someone. Because now you have to be patient and listen to what they're saying. You get what I'm saying? No? It's too much?
Is that hard? That's
A lot of people can't do that. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm just noticing a lot of people don't have that respect to just go outside and have a normal conversation or try to communicate or even want to listen to someone. They think their way is right and that's it. They lack respect for communication in itself.
But that starts somewhere.
I would pride. That's a lot of your personal agenda. Like, you just feel like you're right and everybody else is trying to play through that.
That's a narcissist.
But a lot of people won't come out and say that they're narcissistic, but like deep down inside, most people are.
Everybody is full of themselves, I believe, but it's just like communication starts somewhere.
Everybody?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Everybody has some small narcissistic trait, literally. Like everybody feels like, okay, well, I'm important at this point in my life, or I'm important right now, or like that's narcissistic. Like that's a narcissistic trait.
I understand what you're saying.
That's a narcissistic trait. Like that's something where it's like, okay,
I feel like I'm there at any point.
you're always there. It's okay.
We're not even gonna get
Wow, because I missed it.
Nah,
Okay.
I feel like I'm there in my life right now where I'm focusing a lot on myself and it's not about me then.
And it's not a bad thing. It's just like, you know, there's always should be space and time for you to feel comfortable with yourself and be like, okay, well, this is about me. It should be about me. For example, before you go, because I feel like, go ahead. I'm gonna remember.
Nah, go ahead. I would get back to it because
The same thing like when you're in a relationship. There's gonna be moments where you're gonna just want to be by yourself and want to think about yourself. Like for example, if there's this great event that's happening and you want to go and you want to do something.
I feel like I'm being shot at.
Nah, well, and it's just like you want to think of everything should be about you because this is something that you're doing for yourself. You're proud, you're happy, you're this, you're that. You want it to be about you. Same thing. Let's get spicy. Sex. A lot of people don't know. Females in general, I should say, that they don't know when they're, having an orgasm because somebody is just trying to make the other person like get there. So it's like we're not relaxing our bodies to go, okay, well, I'm gonna let you please me so that I can feel the same thing that you want to feel. And the same thing does go for men because, sometimes they're trying to get the girl to, get there so that they can get there. But it's like, why are you rushing? Why are you not trying to please each other? That's something that in sex that is very lacked, especially at a younger age. Like people just want to, go, and it's just like, okay. And it's just like, why are we not, pleasing ourselves? Why are we not taking the time to let you please me and I please you? Let it get there. Like let it take some time. Like for example, like I can take it this way. Like when you engage in oral sex, like sometimes you don't wanna stop. Let's do it this way. When a guy is giving, the female Okay, anyways. When the guy is going there, like, sometimes he would stop in the middle of it, and she's really about to get there. Because he wants to start to penetrate her, but it's like, why don't you continue? Why don't you let me get there this way? And then we get into that. Females can have multiple orgasms before a man would have one.
Damn, y'all niggas quiet.
Before a man would have one.
I'm just listening until y'all saw it.
So it's like, and then on top of that, after the man has one, it takes some time for the man to get to the second one, or to even want to have it to go again. It's not a bad thing, it's just that's really how it goes, because either, you know, you don't have sex as often, you're not getting to where you want to get to often, your body is not doing what it needs to do.
Shamal, help.
Yo, you don't ever stop me when I talk, just me. When it comes to this, like...
Look, I agree. There's no extra for me to add in. I agree.
I don't know, I feel like, listen, we do a good job. I'm not saying we do a great job, but like,
we do a great job. Stick to it. You feel me? You said what you said.
Like we give a head, like, you know, we continue until like, well, at least for me, I continue until like the girl gets communication, like, alright, like, cause you know, like,
put it in or something.
Yeah, like some girls like, like she'll whisper like, oh, I want you inside of me, or like she'll like pull your head up, and you're like, okay, like that's it.
But are you sure that she's finished? Like, that's the thing.
Or you
No,
maybe he's doing a bad job. Like, all right, I'm kind of doing this. Like,
okay, so that goes back to communication. You gotta.
But in the middle of sex, I'm not about to tell you you're kind of doing a bad job. Like, let's just try something else. Like, I'm gonna just hint to like, let's just. Try
I'm probably gonna move you. Be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Let me turn over. Let me do something to you. Like, it.
I mean, but that conversation doesn't have to be like during. Like that can happen afterwards. Like I feel like, especially in relationships, like that's how you're gonna improve.
A lot of people don't talk about that though. A lot of people don't know how to. A lot of people wouldn't.
That's the problem. Cause I feel like yes, men. There's gonna be some men that might disagree, but like a lot of men don't know what he's doing bed. That's just my opinion. But like, it falls on
men said that. I can't believe men said that.
Like, cause us guys, like we learned through what either movies, our father, or like somebody taught us. Well, even watching porn, like we just know how to like penetrate, move and stuff, but we don't know like all the details of it. So it's like I feel like yes, that falls on us, but that also falls on your partner. Because like your partner should be the one telling you what you're doing wrong and how to improve.
But don't just say us, because females also don't know their bodies.
That's true.
That's true.
That's a major thing. So it's like,
I think that's where like sex improves, is when like you have the conversation like, okay, you can do this better, like you can try this, you can try that. But,
I agree.
Without the conversation, like it falls on both of y'all.
I agree, but I don't think that you guys should be watching porn to get any information, because that's a quick fuck and that's just penetration to penetrate. Like, it's not to. No, it is. Like, and it's funny.
I mean, Twitter board don't count as porn, right? Okay.
Yo,
A little bit, but
you learn, the most you would learn is positions and probably, you know, how to do little things. But when it comes to actually pleasing somebody, they're not having sex to please each other. They're having sex to
make money.
And to just have them nut whenever they feel like nutting. Like, that's what porn is really.
But how many females really tell a man or what they like?
So how is that our fault?
I'm not saying relax, calm
Okay.
down. I'm not saying that that's a guy's fault, but I'm saying like it could go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to be told that they're bad or that they weren't good or that they didn't do the job they was trying to do. Nobody wants to be told that. One is probably embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? But you guys gotta establish that type of communication before you even have sex to be that comfortable. If you're comfortable having sex, you should be comfortable to tell me what I did wrong. Like seriously.
That goes back to what you guys were talking about earlier with like how it comes off, how you say certain stuff. Like it don't have to be like your head was whack. Like try again, buddy. Like
like you could be like, oh well, I like maybe you should try, like I would like if you do this, or you know like something like very like calm. But then it's just like you have to get your way into the conversation. Men are more vocal about what they like and don't like it with sex, and that's something that I've learned from a young age. Like guys talk about sex with everybody and anybody. Like they don't care who they talk about sex with, and it's just like no. Let me explain it this way. I've had friends where like, okay, I'm comfortable with my guy group of friends because it's just like we can talk about it very openly, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, I had sex with this girl. I didn't really like it because, you know, she probably, like, she was doing too much with her teeth, like, or her tongue was doing something that I didn't like, or I like that she did this because she had this down thing, you know, oh, she did this to me and that to me. And I would be like, oh yeah, you know, I had this and and it's just like, you're more open to talk to a guy about it than you would talk to a girl, because girls at that age don't know their bodies. So you would probably talk to a guy rather than you talk to a girl, because it's like, okay, well, this guy does this, that, and if there's this girl. And he says that he likes this, that, and he likes doing this, that. Maybe I should try this with this person when I have sex with this person that I like.
That's how you learn, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
You hear people's stories.
But it's like you wouldn't hear a group of girls talking about that.
If you went to the right group of girls.
I
in
agree.
high school, we didn't all had that group of girls that was just talking.
That's funny because I think that's
middle
really funny, because in my high school, like, it wasn't like that.
Oh, you had a good high school.
I was in my high school.
See, I knew it.
But
So
like,
you was in how you pinpoint that? Like,
Because in Queens, come on now, like, we grew up in a different generation. Queens was different, okay? I don't know about Brooklyn, but I know my friends in Manhattan.
nah, Brooklyn was worse.
I don't know.
Get out of here.
I wasn't out there, but I know my friends in Manhattan had different experiences than from what I had in the bathroom. Like, you know, girls hang out in the bathroom sometimes. They have a conversation. Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah, call me off guard real quick, but okay.
Like, they have different conversations, and they was not talking about the same thing. Like, I'm just saying Queens because that's where I'm from. In middle school, I was hearing about certain stuff I had no business hearing about, and I was like, what? Like, I was confused. Like, are you supposed to be talking about this right now? Like, and that was middle school, so it depends.
When you get to high school.
Yeah, it depends on where you were, and like, I'm just saying, I just know Manhattan was y'all weren't having that conversation.
I mean, it depends. Like, I went to school in East Harlem, so like that's what Spanish people. So I was just like, Nah, listen, I was super out of the loop in high school, because like my friend would be like, yo, it's good that you don't know half of the shit that goes on in school, because like dad didn't know. Like, I did not, like, I was never really around anybody to be like, you know, this happened, that happened. But I knew, like, you know, certain girls did this, that, and the third. Like, I knew that, you know, this girl slept with this, that person, and you just be like, damn, why?
But
Yeah, but I wasn't in the tea. Like, it was just like, I knew about certain people, I didn't know about certain people. It was just like, people just be all in the mix. You'd be like, damn, like, can you just sit down for a little bit? Like, why you gotta know everybody? Like,
Yo, everybody, every clique, every group.
not for real. And I have friends that knew, like, everybody in, like, all the groups, and I just be sitting there, like, and she'd be like, yeah, let's go. No. Let me sit over here and I'm married. But it's just like, with her, it was just like, she wasn't in the mix the way that everybody else was in the mix. So it's like, she was with her one little person, but it's just like, that person was in the mix, and you just be like, damn, like, why the fuck you gotta be on the team? Why you so mixy? Why you in everybody's vagina? Like, what's up?
I mean, you can know about everybody's vagina and just not repeat it. That was the problem. Everybody was repeating stuff, because I knew everything, okay? I'll be honest. I knew everything, like colors, everything. I knew everything.
Colors.
So I was just being honest, like, I knew everything, but you wouldn't hear me repeat it to people. Like, I'm not out there just, you know, spilling tea. I'm just collecting it. I'm seeing what flavors is out there, you know. I'm not spilling anything, though. I need to know everything.
Nah, I spilled tea to who I thought that, like, my friends, though, like, if I felt like, you know, they shouldn't have, like, probably spoke to a certain person in particular because I knew their body. It was not their body in terms of who they've been with, but yes, that too, but my friend's body, like, okay, well, I know you don't like certain things, so I wouldn't want you to give this person knowing that this person is gonna move the way they're gonna move. I'm super real about that, and all the girls hated me about that because I always told my friends, I would be like, yo, baby, don't do that, because
some type of girl code or something, like just go.
No, like, no funny, like, all my guy friends, like, every girl they ever talked to didn't like me because number one, I was always around them. Those was my friends, but also
say it all louder.
But also, I'm super upfront about stuff. I'm like, listen, if I know how you move, I'm never gonna let my friends talk to you. Are you crazy? Because I'm like, number one, I know my friend's body, and it's just like, he talk to you, he gonna be tired. I'm like, I call stuff before it happens, and I always called it. I always called it, and one of my friends literally didn't talk to a couple of people because I said something. He was like, you right. He was like, I'm glad that I listened to you. My other friends didn't listen to me, and they was in the mix, and they got hurt, and I'd be like, you know what?
Listen, but sometimes
It's
they gotta
okay.
go through that. Yeah.
Yes, and I was like, it's
You
okay.
can't be the friends and tell them, oh, don't do that. They gotta get the experience.
I was like, you can get hurt, but I'm like,
Can't believe
listen. I'll be like, listen, don't let me have to go fight nobody because I don't got time for that. I was like, I'll go fight, but guess what? Don't hold me back because now you're putting me into something that I don't want to be into. But I told you not to get into it. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I have no reason to lie to your face. I have no reason to tell you that, oh, this person is gonna be great for you when I don't think that. And it's not because I'm hating on them, it's because like I really think that this is not the person that you probably would enjoy being with. Because number one, you don't like certain things that this person actually does. And I've witnessed it. Literally, I witnessed it with my eyeballs. Literally, with my eyes. And you just be like, wait a second. Why, do you want to talk to this person? And you're just like, damn. I've seen this girl talk to my friend and tell him not to be my friend. And be dead property in friends with that. And she tried to do the same thing to my best friend. And it didn't work.
So this girl is your friend?
No, I didn't talk to her. I didn't like her anyway. She didn't like me. I didn't like her.
Period. There's nothing to say after that.
It was just like she didn't like me. I didn't like her.
I mean, as long as you communicate it to your friends that, I would think in this case it would be suggesting. I don't really think you can tell somebody like, don't do this or
Of course
no,
not.
don't do that. But
It's just like, you should at least be like, okay, well, I think that, this might not be the person that you want to pursue. But if that's the case, then by all means, I'm always going to respect your choice. I'm always going to hold you down regardless. I'm always going to listen to you. But it's just like, sometimes, I just be like, think about it. Before you jump into it, think about it. I always say that.
Alright, but what if you tell that person, then they experience it, they learn, well, you think they learned it, and then they do it again. And you tell them again, like, you keep having the same snowball effect with them, and it's not clicking in their head. So
I have to take a step back.
Huh?
I have to take a step back.
you leave them alone.
Like, I lost a really good friend because of that. But I lost a really good friend from that. And that was like very hurtful for me. Like, it was a really bad experience. That was somebody that, I expected, to hold me down for certain things that I've been through in my life. And I wanted to talk and we didn't because she was like, oh, well, I don't like that you talk to her. Mind you, I was around first.
that's life though.
Yeah.
That's one of them curveballs that,
No, but it continued to happen even though we had conversations and we spoke about it, and it was just like, it just continued to happen. And I was like, well, I think that, you should think about it. And even though when he had his situation and, they broke up and things happened bad, ended badly, I was still there for him, even though we weren't friends. Okay, guys,
see you guys next week.
You can.
Wait, are we not?
That was a nice conversation. Yes, they are coming back next week. That was an amazing conversation. It's super nice.
I'm my own motivation, by the way.
But
Get into the question.
what are you guys' social media so that they can follow you?
It's Asia on Instagram, ITSAYJAHHH. Yes, 3 H's. It's Asia. Simple.
__ Pat Book. PATTBOOGZ.
Make sure you, make sure you follow on social media. They will actually be back for our next topic for you guys. So guys, that was our wonderful show. Sadly, I was not in our wonderful intro, but I'm back for the outro. So thank you for Pat and Asia for coming. It was a wonderful show. This was our second panel, guys. I think it was great. What do you have to say?
Yeah, shout out to Pat and Asia. It was a very
Interesting.
Debate, conversation. I actually enjoyed it. Not gonna lie.
That was it. But as always, make sure you follow me on social media. My Instagram and my Twitter is readthehost.
Y'all can follow me on the gram and Twitter at _we1more.
Make sure you follow the Wonderful Shows page on Instagram and Twitter, guys. It's TNTK Show. As always, thank you for watching the show.
And that's all you need to know.
Bye, guys.